Hey gang, today Kyle's going to show you how to maintain your carbine to include cleaning and lubrication. An often neglected topic, I would contend that lack of lubrication is the major reason for weapons malfunctions.
Hey, Kyle in the range talking about carbine cleaning today. Let's get to it. The tools that you need. I like to use a bore snake, more on that later. Some type of lubrication, doesn't matter the kind. A rag, I use a cat tool. That's about the only specialized thing that I get going out here for the bolt. You need something that'll get into the crack of the extractor, a green toothbrush, and a chamber brush. All right, here we go. As I'm reassembling this thing, couple of important things. I like the donut extractor, the crane extractor spring right here. It lasts forever and it does a hell of a job. This is where I'll use my pick. I will make sure that this right here is clean. This is a critical part. I will spend time on this. As I reassemble this, put this together, and you guys know the tricks here. Push down on the back, get my, my pin, get it in there, and we need to make sure that when we get this pin in, that we got an even amount of space on either side. All right, just like that right there. When I get this, how I'll clean it is I will take time again with my cat tool. I will take a little bit of time right here to make sure this is clean, very critical. Then I lube this, get it nice and juicy, put some lube on it. Put this into my bolt carrier, all right? And I'm gonna put my cam pin in. My cam pin will get lube just off of my fingers. There's no reason to really go big on that. And make sure you orient this thing correctly. As we put this in, I want to talk about lube a little bit more. I have, over the years, I've used lube off the dipstick of a car. I've used WD-40. It really doesn't matter. The firing pin, all you really need to do is wipe it down. You will find carbon on the flange here every once in a while. It's generally not a big deal. Put this in. Firing pin retaining pins. Sometimes these things are hard to go in depending on what your bolt carrier is made out of. This one right here, we may have to take a minute with it, and because this is that hard-coated bolt carrier group, but we want to make sure that's flush. Here's how we test it. Make sure the firing pin doesn't come out. I'm going to cover this whole thing with lube, and you can be generous with it. I mean, the more the merrier. Put that down. Okay, as I talk about the barrel, I've got a bore snake already in here, and this is what I like to use to clean the barrel. All right, so I'll pull this through the barrel, and here's why I like this. I like this because as a sniper, what I've found out over the years from personal experience is if you use a brush inside the barrel, you're taking away some of the copper fouling in the first inch or so past the throat. I like to leave that in there. It maintains good accuracy. I pull a bore snake through once or twice, good to go for me. How you check that? Just take it up to the sun just like so, or a light, look through there, should be nice and clean, no dirt, should look like the beginning of a James Bond movie. All right, as I go into here, the charging handle, literally all we gotta do is wipe it down. You can sometimes, put your t-shirt or your finger in there with a brush, get all that stuff out. With the chamber brush, I will go in here with a chamber brush and do this, and typically I do this before I do the bore snake, but for demo purposes, to get all this in, we're doing it like that. I turn mine, a lot of guys don't. A lot of guys like to just push it in and out, but I like to turn mine. After I take that chamber brush out, I'll take a rag and just wrap it around my pinky, and I'll come in here and kind of wipe that thing out. And when you get done, you should basically see that chrome ring right there. That's how you know you're done. As far as the inside of the action, I literally just take a rag and wipe it out. You don't really need to do that much. Just if you wipe it out, it's good to go. The last piece here on the lower, I will wipe the magwell out with a rag to make sure it loads and unloads and everything's nice and good. You see all that junk around there? You can literally just wipe it off or use the green toothbrush. I'll put it on fire, ride this forward a little bit, wipe anything out in there, use the green toothbrush, put a little bit of lube on those springs. Back on safe, and now we go to reassembly. So go ahead and put my charging handle in there and the wings, make sure my bolt is out, slide this in, put the lower on. All right, now, couple things on this. I want to show you guys how I lube in the field. With the bolt forward, if you look at those two holes right there, if I pull the bolt to the rear, you will see the silver rings of the bolt in there somewhere. That kind of lets you know where you are, okay? As I come down to here, what I'll do is I'll take lube and I will literally pour it into those two holes. So this would be if the gun is loaded and I'm in the field, but I need some lube on there, just like that. What'll happen is after the first shot, you'll see a big puff of white smoke right off the bolt here out of the extraction. You'll see a little bit of smoke out of the barrel, and after about 4 or 5 rounds, just doing that will lube the bolt for you. It's pretty cool. Last thing here, function check. Let's take a look at it. Racket, it's on safe. Let's make sure the safety works. It works, it's not moving. I'm gonna put it on fire, pull the trigger to the rear. Gonna keep it held to the rear. Racket again, make sure it resets. It's good to go. Lock it to the rear, back on safe. If you have full auto, you know you gotta do one more step. But that's how I clean it. That's the lube I use. And remember, all you gotta do is use a lot of lube. She'll run forever. See you on the range.
Trigger Time TV is brought to you by Raven Concealment System, Troy Industries, Troy Defense, Legion Firearms, US Optics, Meredith Rifle, Dark Angel, Keltec, Yeti, Crossbone, Wiley X, Vertex, Black Rain Ordnance, Huber Concepts, Tac Strike, and WW Guns.
I'd like to dedicate this episode to the families of our service members deployed overseas. Even though they're fighting for the Constitution, it's critically important that they have something to come home to, and you give them that reason.
Closed caption provided by Wiley X.